started. Bola will join any moment from now and hand him over to take some sessions, but I can go back to our slide now. Yep, let me go back to the slide. So it's check-in time. You can just scan the QR code here or click on the link, and you will be able to check in for the session. And the advantage of checking in is that we have this membership dashboard too that kind of help us with your attendance records, and we know how well you are repeating, and we can give out even swags, and it's help analytics. We want to use that to know how well we are doing, how many people are turning up, what is changing. And remember, what we are obeying right now is the principle of consistency. We have to keep doing this to build on our knowledge. Over time, one day this event becomes very big and people won't know that it is data that is to that. The best thing you do this age is to make sure there's data point for most of your activity, because it helps you understand what happened. If you don't capture data, you won't know how to learn best, because data reveal even trying that we don't know. So we are following that pattern. That is why we try to get people to register, get people to sign in. Even myself, I'm doing similar thing too. I'm signing in, registering, and making sure I check in as well. So this time is for us to check in for the next couple of seconds. Yeah, Lieutenant.
Sorry, I was asking what should we send.
No, yeah, the code on the screen right now, if you scan the QR code, it's going to take you to Mitumo to check in. Or you just copy the link, mitumo.ai/check-in AILR4. All right. You will still have opportunity to do that. I'm just checking, is Bola on the call now?
Create account. I have an account. There's no one.
All right. So let me take this time to welcome you once again to Little Rock LLM and AI agent community. Repeatedly, we try to explain why we are doing this for so many reasons. The obvious one is the fact that we can co-grow and co-learn together. In this age, in this age of AI, in fact, what led to this revolution is a paper published by Google entitled "Attention is All You Need" in 2017. There's never a time that word or title of that paper is significant than these days. Attention is all you need, and that is much more important right now, because this LLM, this technology advancement is changing so many things around us. It's taking away our attention. It's making it difficult to catch up with things. And this is the best time that we need that attention. And this community is one of those moments that help you focus and give the attention needed, both for your growth, both to learn a new skill, both to improve the skill, both to gain the visibility, and also share with other people. So here we are as a team, as a community, where we connect with each other, where we learn together, where we do things together. And when you do these three things, growth becomes inevitable. All right, and we've always said this. Please fill this form if there are specific things you would like us to know about you and your learning needs. Again, we have the options of moving to the fascinating part, loop, difficult concept or fascinating concept. We would have done that early, but we also realized that, hey, let's do the last couple of months, about a whole quarter now. By August, we'll be done with this Build with AI series, where we walk people through the basic. Let's keep doing this thing repeatedly so that you know the workflow. You are used to the workflow. By the time we move on to the next phase, it becomes easier because the community is grounded enough in the basics. The systems are set up. They teach one or two things, following the simple workflow, and we can build on top of that. So we are very intentional on what we are doing and why we are doing this route. And what we want to know, how best can we support your learning needs? Knowing fully well that this is a diverse community with so many people from different backgrounds. Your need and your knowledge level, your skill level differs. May I also say this, that this is the first time that globally, all over the world, we are all learners, we are all beginners. This technology and the evolution around it has never been witnessed before. So there's nobody, yes, while we keep seeing people with some, every expert is still learning something new as well. So it's an opportunity for everyone to become a learner again and learn. And this is why we want to hear from you and have you signed in. All right. Check in again, it's just a reminder. You will see many of these screens popping up along the way. Bola, just checking because I can't see. Are you on the call right now?
Yes, I'm on the call, but I didn't check it yet. Let me do it.
No, not checking. I just want to be sure, so when I can call you up to.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, having said this, we will run through this. Bola is going to just summarize some of the latest in LLMs and AI agents for the last 2 weeks. Again, I will put this on recording. This is one of the most fascinating moments for us because there are so many things happening and we're just distilling them. In the last 2 weeks, generally, what is happening so that I can catch you up? Is there something worth noticing in the industry, new model release, new concepts, anything magical that has happened? So we use this as this catch up latest news segment, and Bola is going to lead us in this today. Bola, ready?
Yes. Give me a second. Let me open this.
So while Bola is, preparing that to share screen or to run through these, the way he has prepared for that. If there's any question, if there's anything specific regarding, today or you being here, feel free to use the next 1 minute thereabout to just unmute and share this. All right, seems there is none. Okay.
Okay. I'm sharing my screen. Can you guys see my screen now?
Yep.
Okay.
I answered it.
Okay.
Exit full screen. Yeah, please.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Yeah, we can see.
We can see your screen.
No,
Okay.
Ola, I think you're seeing your own screen. No, look at the screen.
No, it's Bola's screen now that we see.
Yes.
I know they show.
Yes.
Round up.
I can see.
Never mind.
Yeah, we can see it.
No, we can see your screen, Bola. Are you having any issue?
We can see it.
Yes. I'm having an issue.
So
Wait.
We can see your screen.
Wait. Give me a second. Okay. You can see my screen. Okay. Good. So sorry again for all the technical wahala of today. So we met 2 weeks ago and Ola shared some amazing news with us in terms of the updates in the AI industry. And since our last meeting 2 weeks ago, a lot did happen again. And we all know how fast and crazy this AI industry can go. So I think last time, Ola, we discussed about export ban for security reasons, talking about Mythos 5 and Fable 5. We also discussed about the mercato in the industry. I don't know if my pronunciation is right, so my French accent can be problematic sometimes, but mercato, I mean, we all are fan of football, international football, of course, the original football. Mercato is when a player move from a club to another one. So we have been witnessing some mercato also in the AI industry, with some engineer and high-profile researcher moving from a company to another one. So we did have new categories of information as well. And let's say together we have like 6 after a 6 storyline. So we have the geopolitical, white flag story about export control with Anthropic. We have stock market wobble with I think Oracle. We also have some legislation stuff in Europe. So Europe quietly slowing down on its own AI law, because I don't know if you guys heard about that, but they were really against some stuff. They were really protective in terms of AI deployment in Europe. So they are slowing down on some stuff now. And at the same time, we do have, when it's come to a job, so we do have the talent war I was talking about, and let me move quickly to, yes, this is my favorite wine. So last time we discussed about the export ban at Anthropic, and it happened, I think, on June 20. And between June 20 and June 30, so in just 10 days, a lot happened. So on June 20, we have the ban. On June 26, we have like, the US government allow Anthropic to release vetoes to some US companies. So it's like they revise their license terms, stuff like that. And finally, on June 30th, we have a full lift on the export control. So now Fable 5 is worldwide accessible for anyone. For me, all these show some things. It was like there was no really legislation about this stuff. It was like things were being written in real time. And at the same time, in Europe, they decided to go, let's say, easily on the AI legislation as well. So what's happened in Brussels, more precisely, that they look at the AI Acts deadline and said, they push that back for 16 months. So instead of blocking stuff, because based on that, there were some model from even Meta. I don't know if you guys come across that. Some model from Meta that was not able to be deployed in Europe, but they were already accessible in America because of that law stuff. So now they decided to push back the deadline. So all of these show that it's like the industry is moving, for me, the industry is moving faster than the legislation. At the same time, we have, for the first time in July 1st, we have the United Nations that present AI governance report. So that's the first time. We have UN that dropped its first real AI governance report right before a summit in Geneva. So in terms of analysis, for me, once again, I think that regulators are not abandoning oversight. They are just buying time to figure out what they are actually regulating. They need to better understand what they are regulating, which honestly is fair given how fast slide this 3 timeline. What else? So yeah, we have some updates in terms of models as well. We have Claude Sonnet 5 that goes default now for at no cost for Anthropic users. We have Google that shipped 2 new image models. We're talking about Gemini 3.1 Flash image and Gemini 3 image as well. And both are accessible now, available on Google AI Studio and Gemini as API as well. And we have Anthropic that launched a new tools. They call it Claude Science. So Claude Science is something for research. So it's kind of a research app. And at the same time, they will fund up to 50 AI for Science projects with up to $3,000 in API credit each. And applications are still ongoing now. Application will close on July 15th. So if there is any researcher here interested in something like that, I think you guys can jump on it. So what else? The thing is, everyone is racing to be the default, cheapest, most useful model, and pricing is quietly becoming the real battlegrounds here, so not benchmarks. And OpenAI announced its first custom chip, built with Broadcom, I guess, and named Jalapeno. I don't know if my pronunciation is right. Ola pronounced it better than me some minutes ago when we were in the car. So, I mean, for me, it's a bold choice because they named the chip after something that's burn going and burn coming out. But sure, I mean, the confidence is good for me. Joke aside, I think OpenAI is joining some major actors like Google, Amazon, and Meta in building their own silicon instead of just renting NVIDIA's. So when we see one major lab start building their own chip, that's not a hobby project for me. I think that's the company saying they're not going to be just a customer anymore. So they want to own the whole supply chain. That will help them make more benefits, stuff like that. So, and what else? Exactly. So in terms of security, we have like a kind of double-edged sword in June 2022. So we have OpenAI that they have a program called Daybreak that use a model to audit open source code, and they found 24 real Linux kernel bugs plus a critical vulnerability faster than any human writing code. So this is, I mean, it's the same storytelling with Mythos as well, because Mythos has been doing that also some while ago. The great news is then later, researchers found something they call agent jacking, where a fake bug report trick an AI coding agent into running an attacker command. So AI is now good enough to catch security holes, and unfortunately enough to fall for fake support ticket as well. So here, the quick analysis here for me, like the same capability that make AI a great auditor, make it a great target as well. That trade-off was never on anyone's roadmap slide. But this is a new reality now. And in terms of money, honestly, this is something I didn't know before. I think we discussed it like some minutes ago or so on I never know that OpenAI owned the biggest part of the market. I thought everybody was using Claude, but in terms of part of market, OpenAI owned the biggest part of it. But in terms of revenue, since developers are using 200 stuff with Anthropic, that's why maybe Anthropic making more money, I think. But for the first time since this AI stuff, I think OpenAI part of the market went under 50%. I think that's the first time because they used to own more than 50% share of the market. And we have Gemini and Claude both climb. So then stock had a moment. Everything you can know about that. What else? I think that's all. Yes, and the last element is about job. So we have another big guy, big profile, Noam Chazé. He's a co-author of the original Transformer paper and co-lead of Google Gemini project. So he also announced that he's leaving Google DeepMind to become OpenAI lead for architecture research. And that move dominates AI news coverage through the week. And at the same time, on US job reports, so the Bureau of Labor Statistics reported only 55,000 jobs added in June, far below their prediction. So they were expecting like 185,000, but they just report 55. So this add we already have an ongoing debate over whether AI-driven automation is already showing up in labor data or not. So this for sure will add fuel to that ongoing debate. I think that's all. And I do have at the end, the link if you guys want to, read more about each of those topics. That's all.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. Merci
I know
beaucoup. Voilà.
De rien, Ola. J'ai fait de mon mieux.
Yeah.
J'ai fait de mon mieux, Mina. I tried my best.
Yeah, I agree. D'accord. So, this is very interesting because yes, I'm glad we're achieving the goal. The goal is, hey, there's a lot going on every time, every day. Let's filter through the noise and bring some of this news, because if you pay attention to the tools, you also be very conversant with how the industry is evolving. And yes, Bola highlighted so many key things. Number one, Fabo 5 is available now, and we can debate how this is working out. We also share why it was restricted. We had some debate around the implication for the industry last time. Number two, OpenAI, building their own, chips, custom chip, Jalapeno. And the good thing there is, we'll discuss this later, how that it might be a very big advantage for OpenAI. By the way, last 2-3 days, Anthropic announced that they're also partnering with Qualcomm to start building chips. Everybody will go through that route. They're going to enter late because OpenAI already have their first version, but they're moving to production in 2027. And we saw how there's a rumor going on right now concerning OpenAI. So their latest model 5.6, which will be live most likely July 7th, most likely on Monday. There's a really contention going on here, which I'll just talk about before I move on to the next agenda. Fabo 5 is the most capable model today, and it's truly capable. If you have not used it, I encourage you to give it a try. Funny enough, there's also a way to optimize it, because if you are using Fabo 5 to do common thing, you are wasting it. The biggest problem we ever think of, throw it at Fabo 5 is going to solve it. I'm not kidding. A lot of review about that. I've cracked many things I never thought I could crack with it recently. So it's the most capable model, but Claude Anthropic is not releasing it free, meaning it's not even part of our usage. Until July 7th, it's going to move to API pricing, meaning if you want to use Fabo 5, you must use the API method and you are paying per token. That is way expensive. It's the most expensive model today. Is it $10 per million input tokens and $30 per output million token? That is really expensive. And what's going on right there is OpenAI is releasing the next model they have is 5.6, and 5.6 is claimed to be more capable than Fabo 5. And they're able to serve 5.6 directly in your already pricing tier. So you don't need to pay API price. Your subscription is going to come with 5.6, and it's going to be more generous. We heard this rumor that they've been able to gain some optimization where they can give us more generous usage, 2 times lower than Fabo 5, and they're still making profit because they've optimized. They've had some kind of breakthrough with architecture around 5.6. So let's see how that plays out. And they are releasing it on most likely on 7th. That's the day that Anthropic is going to end their release for Fabo 5. So they cut it off. OpenAI is trying to release 5.6. Oh, don't worry, you can always keep enjoying a better model within your subscription without doing anything. That's a good marketing trick. So let's see how the industry will play out next week. A lot of interesting thing there. And Google also is most likely by 17th of this month will release their new model. Google has been losing for a very long time. Nothing about them, not competitive, not frontier. They have their model, but it's not frontier. So we heard that there's a rumor of Gemini 3.5 that is coming out 17th, most likely of this month, and that will be a new base model. So we expect that to be really capable. That's the advantage of competition. They actually push us. They push OpenAI to give us all this win that we have today. When they released 2.5 and 3, Gemini 3, OpenAI have to launch Code Red. They went back last year. They came to evaluate, do all those things, and that's when Codex come out, 5.4 came out, 5.5 now, and such competition will always lead to good things. Okay, so I'm going to switch back now. This is just few things that is going on in the industry. I will switch back now and go to what we have, other topic that we have for today. I've still not mastered how to move slides around. So getting there. The best way to predict the future is to build it. That is why we always try to make an attempt to build. And so today, just to say that the series we've been on is June, July, August. That's for the quarter. It's called Build with AI series. And the goal is every time we meet, let's build something continuously so that the next time in August, September, October, that's June, July, August, yeah. The next quarter, by the planning, yeah, that's just September, October, November, we're going to focus on behind the scene. So all these things we'll be building, the way we'll be using AI, we're going to learn more about technical things. If you are throwing technical right here, it's going to become difficult. But the next quarter, we'll be doing build alongside technical. So the excitement is always there. You are building something, you're also understanding what is happening behind the scene. How this model behaves, what are the technical knowledge that we need to carry along with this skill in our hands. So today and the next 2 weeks, we're going to build a new application. This is Note app from data model to deploy. The good thing is everyone is going to decide what goes into that. But before we build that, because building, as you can know, if there's something you take away from our meeting and what we've gained so far since we've been meeting, building is not the bottleneck again. It's not the problem. I can throw this in Codex, throw this in Cloud Code. You will see that. Oh, it will build everything. How do we build useful? What workflow is stable and reliable that you can follow every time that will only deliver results? That is the question. How do I see a problem and be able to build something that is stable enough to address that? That is the question. So for us to address that, I will continuously go back to this tip. What's the standard way to build with AI? What are the tips? What are the things that will help? Last couple of videos, in fact, the last time we met, we discussed the components. Every time you want to build, we introduce the concept of, you need a backend service, you need a front end, you need email messaging layer, you need, a few of those components, we'll talk about them, and we'll make recommendations. There's a place where you can use Supabase or use Convex as your backend, where it stores data and it also runs services at the backend. For front end, there are many front end frameworks you can use, Tanstack, you can use React, you can use different. In fact, when you do it the right way, AI can pick the best one for the kind of project you are doing. Because you are wondering, how do I even know what should I use? If you understand the workflow will help you discover what is the best framework to use. So that is why instead of saying use Tanstack, use this, use that, it's better that you understand the workflow that can help you achieve at your own goal by using the most optimal tools and services around it. But that one is not possible for someone who is starting afresh. So you want to know what are the basic things I can start with. That was why we introduced some of those concepts and services that we recommend, last time we met. We are continuing with that workflow today. The essence of what we are doing today is, first, we're going to scaffold and shape the data model. This is very important. We introduce the concept of shaping data model. If you want to build an app that functions, let's think through it first. Then the saving, we're going to write and save and do all that, deploy. AI will do that. But how do we really conceptualize this product in a way that is functional? How do we think through it? How do we know this has to be there? How do we know the other thing must not be missing? That is the workflow and the mindset we're trying to gain from today's session. So in 7 steps, I will keep repeating this and add some tips. If someone who is new to AI today wants to start building something for the first time, assuming that you have installed some basic tools. If you haven't, the AI today can even initialize your system and even help you with so many things. But first, brainstorm in chat. There's no time that this is going to be stale. It will always be relevant. So either you're using Gemini, either you're using Claude, either you're using OpenAI, even if it is Copilot from Microsoft, use those chat applications to do your brainstorming. I explain why it is very good, because you have your chat history. It's better that way in the app, and because the memory of these applications today are becoming better, even what we were doing 3 months ago, 1 year ago, it can record that fast, even when we are doing something else, and reference it and understand you better. So that way, as you're evolving with your knowledge, with your tool, with everything, the application have that memory. If you do that brainstorming in the chat in the code interface where you're writing the code and agent is doing the work for you, you can lose track of it. Some of them store the session history in, on your system, but some of them also purge it after 30 days. For example, Claude Code, after 30 days, just keep purging any older records, from your system. You lost those contexts, no matter even how you want to record them. So using your mobile, the chat feature of the different AI service provider is the best place to start brainstorming. We're going to do that together today. And when you brainstorm, I kind of have a good, clear idea. There's something missing. At the point of brainstorming, there's a concept called the unknown. Because you might be asking yourself, how do I even start? I don't even know what I need to do first. Last session, we gave a prompt that you can give to any of those chat interface that can help you start any project. I'm also going to reference that again later. But once you are able to brainstorm in the chat and kind of have an idea, the product you want to build, the features that should be there, the next thing will be log the idea into a spec. Log the idea into a spec. You're going to have the chat interface to create a spec document or a PLD, a markdown file, and put all these things that you have discussed and all the features there in a way that an agent can build it out. And when you download that and you go to your IDE. When you go to your IDE, it could be Codex, could be Claude Code, wherever you want the agent to get the work done for you. Okay, just before that, you also build a design system. So this can come in at any phase, but it's good that I put it at number 3. A design system is what tells your is what help you make the visual difference in your application, so that it's not generic. It's not going to be, people can easily spot AI generated product today. You just see different purple design, different color layout, different accent to the left and right. I have felt victim of this repeatedly, and I'm learning through that, and I'm optimizing the workflow. So the best idea is to build a design system from re-reference, not just describing what you want. There's a way to do that. We'll also get there. And once you have those components, just go to your agent, give it the design system, give it the spec, the PLD, and the next is to ask for review. Because the coding agent is what we implement is. Instead of just asking it to implement, ask what is missing. Are we good to build? And it's going to review that thoroughly. Now, there are different models that do best at those things, but irrespective, they will still produce something better, or they will show understanding of what you ask them to build. The moment they provide feedback and say we are good here, or they need further question, even when they're asking further question, if you don't know what to do, you can let it know that I am not sure what is the best recommendation here. Can you ask me more questions about what I need? Maybe that will help me decide and help you decide. That is where you are covering the gap between the unknown. The unknown here is your ability to tell the agent that I don't know, rather than just choosing something random you're thinking or assuming, letting the agent know that I don't know, this is my weak area, but I believe this idea can come to life. It shouldn't be a limitation because I don't know how to code or don't understand this architecture. The agent will take it over. We interact with you as someone that you don't know how to do it, but you have the idea, and I can be your partner. I can be that co-pilot. I can get the work done for you. That can be the difference between someone who is products, who has this idea, and someone who is just trying to prove I will drag this agent to do what I want to do. So you're going to build it as a goal or loop or workflow or different formats. A goal is when once you are clear with your description, you just throw it into a goal. The agent will not stop until you execute everything. And you can move around, you can do other things you want to do. Then you test and verify. You check it yourself, you verify, you deploy once, and of course, many a times there's still the option for you to improve and build on it. I shared last time that we should, in fact, there's no need for me to move all through the other slide because everything I've shared now is all the points we have on this slide. Is a brainstorming the chart, turn the idea into spec, build a design system, chart first, code second. That's it. Inside the agent itself, drop the file, build it as a goal. Drop the file, ask for review, build it as a goal, test and verify. It's nothing new. The concept of the unknown is the most important I want to share today. You should, in fact, and that's what all those workflows is, because when you are doing this, you are trying to unlock whatsoever you don't know, your own unknown. If we know all these things, then it becomes easier. The advantage that AI creates for us is that even without knowing everything end to end, AI can help us cover the gap. But if you don't know the gap, you still fall victim. If you give AI something, it will always do more than what you have given it. And when it builds something that is more complex than what you can handle, then you fall into the loop of make this better. Your command will not be, let's do this. 2 hours, 3 hours, you are still saying, do this one. Oh, the button is not right, do the button right again. Just because it has built so many features that it's difficult to keep everything in shape. So this is important. This is why design system makes sense, because you reference a design system rather than describing, I want the button to look like this. Our imagination is still limited in the way we don't even know how to speak the language. But when you have a reference, you have a design system, you just point it, it's going to do the right thing every time. So there's nothing so much to share like a magic in today's session before we start doing the practical side. I just thought of reiterating so that when you are building or trying something first with this agent, bear this in mind. The first interface, Claude for the first, or different chat agent you have, the folder review, ask it to review the folder before it writes a line. Those are tips that you can use sometimes. Some agents focus on parallel because we don't need to deal into the technical reason why probably sub-agent is effective. Today, if you use Claude and your Claude code and you put it on Max or Ultra code, automatically it's going to just spin up sub-agent to do whatever it wants to do because it just believes it's more efficient that way. Sometimes for learning purposes, especially for believers, you ask it to create a file with some implementation notes. These days, when you correct these agents, they will write a memory and save it for themselves so that next time they're able to do that and bear that in mind into their context automatically. But sometimes you also want to learn. I've used this to learn across my project. When I do something and I find out that, this thing was solved, this technical bug was solved, I say, create a file and explain how you solve that problem. So over time, I can go through that markdown file or even last kit. How did we solve this problem? It's able to reference that and explain. And also verify before you trust whatever solution that you have. So a reminder again that we should check in if you have not done so. At the end of this session today, you're going to get a certificate. So we're already optimizing. Over time, start getting certificate for participating. Hold on. That certificate is not a certification, but it's a way to show your community involvement. Those data points, we don't joke with it. Over time, you have a verifiable page. This platform is becoming bigger and you are part of it. So your time to this can be a proven evidence, even in interview, proven evidence for promotion. You are wondering why? You can use that as a way to demonstrate continuous growth mindset. See, I'm involved in community, I'm learning this, I'm doing this. It's evidence. And it's just about how we can tell the story also to challenge ourselves, even if not for job, if not for anyone else, to challenge ourselves. That, okay, this is a way, this number of hours I've committed to learning. All those stats is going to be on a public page for yourself. So if you are not tracking that, but you have something that is helping you, because anytime you get involved with the community, you check in with all of these things, can give you a good review of how much you are pouring back to yourself for growth. So it should have been for or against, but I will move on to share my overall screen now so that we can go through what we just learned. Let's practice. Let's build this application that we wanted to build now. But while I'm doing that, if there's any form of any question based on my presentation, please do go ahead and ask. You're always free to unmute.
Ola, I have a question.
Yes, please go ahead.
So, wait, so the number one part of that process, right, where you basically said the first step is brainstorming your idea. What do you mean by that? So, for example, let's say I have an idea to build like a Netflix, for example. What's the goal of the brainstorming when there's also like that step 3 about like the whole design thing too? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So here is the best way I can explain that. When you have an idea, the traditional way of building product that we use today require different points. First, if you work in a software company, when there's an idea, the first thing they do is they go into, depending on the project management techniques they use, they will have a product manager or product designer or those people who clear what we call product requirement document. So they do their first brainstorming session and they create a product requirement document. That requirement document has all the explanation. What is the introduction? What are we trying to do here? What problem exists? How do we want to solve it? And how are we building this feature to solve it? What must the feature involve? What product? Every details of what they're trying to build. For example, this Google Meet we are using, they are building it up. Someone has to, okay, we need something that will solve this problem. This is the problem. This is what we want to solve. How do we solve it? What feature must we have that make it better? Although so they define that in that document, and they introduce BA. Well, of course, business analyst is a different job role, which is also project managers, program managers. They get involved in traditional tech and understand the PLD. Some of them translate it to business requirement document, which is BLD. Some of them use the same PLD but create Trello task, and they call it if you are using Scrum, you call it user story. They start creating user story from there. Before even user stories, or architects come in and start looking at this kind of project, they architect it. Now, different roles is involved in building that product from idea to product. And you, as a tech person, this AI agent learn through those approach. And you, as a tech person, you can go to an agent and say, I want to build this product, go ahead and just describe. But you are missing a lot. Remember, traditionally, to build something that is stable, that is scalable, that is enterprise worthy, or even solid, it's not a task of just describe one sentence to an agent and you get it done. There are so many components. How about us that we don't even have this? We have good idea, but we don't have good understanding of what sound engineering looks like to solve that problem. What component must you have? What makes Netflix this scalable? You want to start simple, because sometimes this agent will give you something that you will have burnt thousands of dollars even before you just trying to build it. Because if you have to subscribe to the IS services and all of those complexity behind the scene, without those knowledge, your ideas can die because it just won't work. So this brainstorming session is an opportunity to scale down, to understand what is involved, how can this become successful, etc. So AI agent will probe you, will chat up with you, will be able to help you go through that process. And we're going to practice that. We want to build a note-taking app, and that has AI embedded into it. Now, is that revolutionary? No. How can we make it revolutionary? I don't even have the best idea. But during this chat interface, chat experience, brainstorming session, we're going to see how we'll come out with it together. Is that kind of helpful?
Yeah, it is. Makes sense. Thank you.
So right here, I'm going to pull up this. Let me just. Hello, is this working? Okay. So Guys, in case you don't know, I built an app called Octa AI. It allows you to dictate by just speaking, because we get a lot done by just speaking. Octa, just to show that, Octa AI, and that's what I often choose most of the time. This is the Mac version. By just clicking a shortcut key, you talk. You just insert everything into what you are, wherever you want it to be pasted by default. And also, there's a Mac, Linux and Windows version now. I released that 2 weeks ago. I've been using that on my Linux box. Octa. Again, all these experiences, I still got that done with AI. Definitely, I won't be writing things in Rust, but the idea is there, is solid enough. And I mean, this is the Rust version of the Windows and Linux version for the application. In case you use that, you can always tap into it. All right, back here, because if you wonder, I will be talking and it's going to get it done. All right, so right now we're in a live session and we're trying to brainstorm on solving. Okay, sorry guys, I am going to stop this. I need to sign in to log out. I need to sign into Cloud Session that is mine. Become more better. The one I was using was the company. Yeah. All right. So we're in a live session now, and we are building our app, which is the note-taking app with AI capability. Of course, the feature is not defined. So we're trying to brainstorm together what feature needs to be in this app. How can we keep it simple but usable, effective, functional, and we need from the simplest to the complex. We don't need anything complex at the beginning. Feel free to ask questions that will guide us through building the best possible version that is scalable. For a start, we want to use our regular technology stack. For example, Convex, preferably as the backend, Resend for sending email, Clark for, of course, authentication layer, and Vercel for deployment. Of course, a user who is new to this kind of development might not even know what to ask. So don't assume that we have everything cast in stone, but this is just generic and no question brainstorming session. Keep your response very simple. And yeah, let's get started. I'm making it free or open, and what we want to learn from here, as sometimes if you have any question, because right now we're doing this together, I want us to agree on this together, what we are building. And if you are wondering, there are some things that doesn't come if you don't practice. So that is the other thing. There's not going to be, what do we call it now? There's not going to be a one-click button one day that will just magically solve all this thing for a new beginner. A new beginner still needs some knowledge at the beginning, and that's like this. How come I was mentioning Convex, mentioning this and that? This is some basic knowledge needed, but this kick it off. So we did sessions last time that talked about this component. And if I assume that, I'm not mentioning any of these, it's still going to come up with something like that. But let's just go through these responses. This is this. Love it. Let's start simple and build up. Here's the way I'll think about the note-taking app. At its core, it only needs to do three things. Three things were before we had any AI at all. The bare minimum is the user can sign in, write a note, and have it saved so it's there when they come back. That's the whole heartbeat of the app. Convex handles savings. Your authentication layer handles the sign-in, Vercel put it online, and Resend can send things like a welcome email or magic link. If that loop works, you already have a real product. Once that works, the first AI feature should be the one that feels like magic, but it is easy to build. My pick will be summarize this note or give this note a title automatically. One button, one clear result, nothing fancy yet. Then as we grow, the AI can get smarter in steps, auto-tagging notes, searching by meaning instead of exact words, and eventually chatting with your notes. Before we go further, let me ask you one question that shapes everything else. Who is this note app really for? And what's the main thing they use it for? For example, a student capturing class notes, a busy professional dumping quick thoughts, or someone journaling. The answer changes which AI feature we lead with. what's your gut on that? So I'm going to leave the answer to this to everyone. Let's contribute it. What should we put here? If there's any new thing you are thinking, oh, what can we make this, add this feature? Can we do this? Please contribute, and I'm going to get that in.
So it can be an app that are features both for students, both for professionals. So there should be a button for students, a button for professional. Note taking.
Okay.
So I guess, I don't know, maybe like an extra step. But if you're building for someone using it in academia, for example, the notes part can behave like Notion. If you're building for someone like journaling, can just behave like the journal app on iOS, for example. So I guess on the providing aspect, right? If you're in academic mode, you should be maybe building functions for that look like Notion, like more tables, and graphs, and then because typing can be long sometimes, you're right. I don't know, you should be able to like dictate what you're saying, regardless of your accent. You have to be able to like really make sense of it. Since I don't know if you're planning to embed any form of like AI transcription to it.
Yeah, Peter, I love what you're saying. Again, we're all building this together. We can decide, and I can narrow down to make it simple. For example, the audience type. To be very honest, we should make it a generic app, because if you are doing for each like a student academics, yeah, there are different experiences around that. Otherwise, it's going to be building something a bit complex. But they should all be able to use it. Not necessarily, that's why later we can be introducing some feature that will make it useful for someone as a student. But to really build an edge, if you are targeting an audience like a student, you are building a note-taking for students. But just to, again, you have the freedom of something bigger. But I would say that we should just keep it as a generic journal. But the AI feature now cannot make it much more valuable, because a journal that is working and effective and efficient, students can use it about their life, about anything. They don't have to be for academic. So that's the direction that I am thinking right now, just so that we can build from simple to complex. In fact, when you start building, please take note of this. That big idea, you might have to build 10 times. That's why build is something simple, because you become complex, and because we don't have so much capacity to manage the architectural weight. When that product start growing big, you just find out later some decision you are making is affecting the architecture that was built in the beginning, and you are carrying technical debt. Technical debt is when the code base becomes so complex, probably because the architecture was not clean in the beginning, and then when you are fixing an issue, it's causing an issue for another side. Not because the agent is not good enough, it's just because the direction you have chosen before not make it complex, and the agent will not tell you no. You always keep building those things on top of them. So my recommendation is, yes, let's have this dictate feature where you can just click a button and talk, and then because you talk faster than you type, let's make it a journal app, but we can now decide what features should it have so that it becomes usable, functional, and nice. So is this a good way to go? Any thought on that?
Yeah, it's good.
All right. So let me put it this way. All right. So we are discussing right now. This is a summary of our kind of conclusion. We are not building a niche note-taking app. Let this be a generic journaling app that people can use. And again, speaking to the features beyond just the general thing you have listed here, it should have usable features. You talk about AI. Can you also list out those AI things that we need to add? Yeah, it needs to be AI rich, so that it's valuable, it's usable, and users should use it, so that it's connected to both voice transition AI, transcription AI, and also generative AI endpoint. So just return what are the features that should be there, including a generic feature for the application to be useful, flexible, good enough for users who is trying to journal their day and have AI support, rich AI support, and also what are the AI features we need to watch out for. I spoke for about 1 minute, and there's no way I can type this thing I just spoke about 1 minute now. It's just done. You know, it has advantage of just using this kind of tool to brainstorm or to type your choice. Okay, it's coming back with what we want. There are thousands of scenarios and directions we can go, but this practice is helping us to see a workflow. If you are doing this by yourself, you can go different directions. You can be dictating what you want like this. It will build it again. AI will take you through that direction. Oh, let's do this for this. Let's have a different profile. It's going to build that. It's not bad. It's not too much to build even in 1 hour or 2 hours for AI today. But let's just see how you can build something and begin to define yours. All right. So we have this AI features where the real value is voice detection. Is that all? Voice detection, the user speak and it becomes here. Auto tagging, I love that. Mood and mood detection, yeah. The AI reads the entry and label it, rewrite, clean up my rambling into clearer prose, a reflective AI companion that responds to an entry. This is cool. Asking what did I write about my job last month, what's getting real answer, weekly or monthly recaps. This is all good. A few honest caution, since this bites people. Cost. Every AI call and every transcription minute costs money. So every user can get expensive fast. Privacy, journals are deeply personal. So users need to trust that their entries aren't being used to train models or leak. To be clear about this, yeah. Latency, voice transcription, and AI responses take a second or two. Yeah, it's just calling out things. But I think we are good here. Do you agree with the AI feature that it has listed out here? I think these are cool to start with. Anything you think is missing or we should add, or you have general question where we are right now? Waiting for response.
So in my own, there's this app, it has like a section for insights. Like it just, so sometimes, if you take streaks of things you do, like you're waiting for 3 days back to back or few weeks back to back, it boosts how well you come back to use the app. So if you have insights accounts, like maybe your streak, the number of entries you've put in, number of words written, number of days you journal, just like basically analytics, general analytics. It's not really because of the good stuff. And you also have like a calendar that shows the days that you go to. Sometimes even goes as far as showing the places and like did you write in your house or did you write somewhere else? So that way you can even create like a form of analytics that show like the places you write the most, like the areas where you can maybe automatically prompt you to write, or the time of the day you can easily prompt you to write, that kind of stuff. Just data analytics.
Yeah, this is good. All right, so let me speak that here. I get what you're saying now. We're going to add it and then we'll move on. We'll close it there and move on to the next phase of this business.
Before you speak to your
okay, my oracle.
So I think right now I don't know if we're just focused on using text. Like, would there be other options of maybe recording audio?
Would there be other options? Using what?
Other forms of input apart from text, like maybe audio recordings, image, video.
Yeah, so for now, I think we should keep it as text. Of course, you can speak audio and audio will transcribe the text.
But at least image.
Yeah, we can add image. Okay, let's add image. It's a good one. Okay, let me just speak that. Image, yeah. Let's do that.
Last one. Since the app is already transcribing what I'm saying, that means you can also record my audio.
Yeah, it's recorded audio. Yeah, it will do that. You're right. the thing I have is
what-
I will explain that later. Is the usage consumption of this, but it's not so
Oh.
much because it become heavy, and again because we are not building this tool for the world to use. So if you are building for the world to use, I will start thinking optimization of storage, because if you imagine millions of users using this app and you still want to price or you want to make it free, there's a lot of choices with what is the cost on infrastructure. But don't worry, we're not really concerned about that yet. This is a learning to build things and bring ideas to life. So all the services we have will be free to get this done. All right, so let me describe that to the Oracle. All right, this is a fantastic idea. Let's keep all these features, but there are a few things that we want you to call out so that we don't miss them. For example, analytics, which involve deep insight. It has calendar view, could tell you things about places you are, you write most about, stages of life, phases of life, and many other things. And our journal having option for you to upload pictures to support some of your journaling, even audio, because if you can transcribe, then the audio exists. We can also save the audio in a scenario where you just want to save it and play it back. No, we can creatively find ways to display this and make this really modern and useful. So I just want you to include this alongside the other things you have discussed now. So can you just summarize this so that we're in a good place before we move on to the next? So yeah, Peter, good. And I'm glad that we are kind of doing this brainstorming session together. Why this is going, the next step here is going to be PRD with a design system. Now, let's talk about design system. Design system is how your application will look like.
I didn't get to
Okay. Then are you trying to say something?
Peter is saying something.
No, mind.
He's saying that he's a star student.
No, like I told those students.
You do I too know this Peter boy.
No, I was actually thinking of something. I think it's just like if I was building a notes app for myself, right? So sometimes when people journal, right? AI can analyze your entries and find patterns. The thought process. We might not implement it in this anyways. It's just a thought.
No, it will be able to do that. Yeah. It's already
thought process. Just like if you're talking to a therapist over and over,
that's the auto tag,
They can.
Yeah, it will be able to do that.
The tagging is just gonna group it, like categorize it. This one is gonna say, okay, like I don't know. Just
okay. I will call it reflection. Let me. I love what you have said there, include all the things you have captured. Don't worry about the cost because this is learning for us. So it's not something that is scaling to millions of users. And the free services we have, we address that. But there's something that one of our community members mentioned, which is very important. It's something like a reflection. If I journal most of my things here, and there's this tagging, there's this AI features in different places. How about having kind of chat experience where you can have these AI reflections and there's deep thought about you with the AI. You will understand deeper about you because it has access to all the journaling history and you can reflect with it. Let's make sure that is also part of it. That might mean having a chat interface for that reflection. Later we could add audio conversation, but let's just keep this to chat for now. I just don't want you to miss that out in what we are describing. We're going to define the form factor later, but just capturing this as the features that we have is very important. I hope that right now I'm going to cut you off, Peter. I know you have a lot of ideas. It's good. You can build. Again, this is the brainstorming session. There is so much more we can also do around this. But while this is running, it's already done here. What I will just give you to do now is to write a PRD while we go to design system. All right, this is fine. Now I need you to write up a PRD, make it detailed enough, so that I describe the problem we are solving, the features, and every component that needs to be there so that we don't miss out anything. That is very important. Okay, go ahead and do that. Write it as a markdown file that I can copy and save. What we've done with this workflow now is that we are done describing what we need. We have brainstormed just to have some components, some features, is writing the spec document, which is the PRD, now design system. So there are several components to design system, and there are many. I'm just going to introduce two today, and we're going to use one. First, you can go to ChadCN. ChadCN. If you type it the wrong way, it's going to bring it up. It's an open source design system. You see, the foundation for your design system. It's very, in fact, they have latest version now. In fact, we're going to use ChadCN. Another approach is you can go to Mobbin. Mobbin.com has almost thousands of websites and applications. And because what we are building is a web app, not mobile app right now. The third session we're having this month, the next next month is going to be on mobile app. Today and the next 2 is going to be on web. The third one is going to be on mobile app. And then we give you project to work on. So that as we're wrapping up this the quarter, we have individual project we could build and come and present to the community. So here you can toggle for web, and you can go through different applications, thousands of applications. If you think you like the way they look, or and say, for example, probably I like how Stitch, later, for example, this one, you click on it and you're going to see the screens, all the screens in the app itself, the website itself, the product. These are all the screens, clicking through everything. So if you like it, you can copy those ones you like, and you can come back here and ask it to build a design system from it. And it's going to create for you a design system. But other way to do this is when you come to, ChadCN, for example, you're going to create a new project. Get started. Wow, they've even changed the interface. This is amazing. As you are seeing this shows you how the application is going to look. You have the option of defining how your menu, you just create by deciding what you want, and it's going to build a design system that you can get the code. So for example, this is navigate. If you choose navigate, these are the basic feature here. Aspect ratio, not even sure how this is. Let me just go back to reset. Yep, reset to defaults. All right, so I don't know how to navigate it. Come back, build your own. That is it. We come back here. Style. Here you can, it's using this style. If I select Nova, for example, you're going to see the way it will change. It's changing here. If I use this, it's going to see a sticker is changing. Anyone you select, you're going to see the way it will look when the application is built. I think this is better. I'm going to select something like this. For color, you can choose different color. You can, and automatically when the product is built, it takes this form. So I'm going to select neutral theme. You can different theme like this theme. I actually love this. Cyan. Okay. Please let's choose one. This or this. Oh no, I don't know. Yeah. I think this is cool. Yeah, this one. Yeah.
The first
Yeah. No, that one. This one. The current one is good for me.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay,
vote.
good.
Let's vote.
Also,
First one.
No. This one.
Yeah, this one. The one that I just had
Can you
now.
just make this one white?
No, that
This?
this one.
It's gonna be matching
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, now that's why like you're lying.
yeah, line. Instead of this,
Like this now, it's very
Great,
cool.
this
like
one
this.
is
The gray is fine.
The gray is fine.
Nah, it's
Like
Okay.
Now,
design
yes.
your call to action button should be like the primary.
yeah, the movement. Yeah.
no vex you now. This thing no
I'm a
vex.
designer.
You know designer no vex. Yeah.
That's what don't play. Okay, this is not
Enter the heading, the font. Here you can define the font. How it should look.
no Inter. Inter is overused for AI.
What's Inter?
Yeah.
Oh,
This one, this user, this guy is a better
Anyway, Roboto.
it's Roboto.
Roboto. This Roboto.
Roboto.
Yeah.
We also have default radius. Do you want it to be small like this, medium like this, or none, or large, or default? Which is this?
Can you try small?
Small is like this.
I shall not
Yeah.
see it.
The
Guys,
border, the card border, the radius.
oh, sorry.
I think
Oh,
small is
Yeah,
okay.
small is good. Small is good. Small is
it
good.
affects cards, it affects buttons. Yeah, okay, good. And default, we just leave this to default. Here I think it's bold, subtle is fine.
And then,
So
like,
let's assume now we are done with this. Let's assume you have this. Now it's just shows up the different design system, how everything interact, and you know the button, the way they will look, you slide that button, you can see how it will behave. Now you might wonder, why do I go about this? If you click on get code, it's going to show you this. Depending on different framework, is it Next.js application you are building? Is it this and that? Now it's easy to say, just take the screenshot. You don't even know what to do. I'm just using this for example. Come back here. This guy has built the PRD. Paste what you have and say, I'm using CharCN to build my design system. Based on this application, what choice should we choose here so that I can know what to copy and use? As simple as that. Even when you don't know what to do, be able to ask. Come back today and ask. But because you know that after creating PRD, I need a system. So that is guiding you. Anything in between you don't know, because you are wondering, if I just click on one now and I have to be explaining, I won't be there. When you're working on your project, that might take a different architecture. So being able to come over here, and so it's saying, based on the app you are building, Next.js, base Radix UI, this is the original. Okay, 3 toggles, leave all off. Okay, base and Radix UI. Big nest base. Okay, is this thing we should use Radix?
Radix, yeah.
Radix, okay, yeah. You see now, toggle here to Radix.
Yeah.
These are Radix. We should leave all this button like this. And what else? Yeah, package manager, any of them work. The default is find choice and fast. If you want the most beginner friendly, NPM is the one everyone knows. Either is fine. Copy and run. So now we have this, and I'm going to come back here. We can obviously PMP is fast, but NPM is the most easy node package manager is simplest. AI, this doesn't matter in the age of AI. Now we're going to copy this command, but first we have our design system that just kind of describe what we want. This is not what the AI will implement. This is not enough, but these are stated out basic things that is needed. Now, we're going to copy this. We move to the third phase after design system, and the third phase is your coding agent. Right here is Codex, which I want to use, but I can also use it to show us the power of. I might also use it to show us the power of this guy, Codex. Cloud Code, Fabo 5, for example. Again, this is why that is the list, because when you put this right there, you just realize, hey, this is the list. I'm going to ask Codex to do this review of what features must be there, what must not be missing, everything, and it's going to write out the full implementation plan. I'm going to get Fabo 5 to I'm going to get Fabo 5 to write the implementation plan. Codex will review it. Fabo will implement, and Codex will, because the plan is review, is going to be easier to be done. So how do we do that? Again, within Codex, you can still write. Funny enough, you can open Cloud Code. But what I will do first is we have to create a project. Let's create a project folder. So come back here. I always put that in my directory here. Create a new folder. What should we call this application? Yes, you can do the brainstorming. So I'm going to call it Notepad. Nota.
Ask Claude.
Yeah, you are wasting time. You can ask Claude for many things, Nota. In fact, this Nota, I'm going to put double T. There's a concept that I have. When you are building your academy somewhere else, you just find me. I think I shared that later last time, that I love playing with the word ta. That's AR. Most of the tool I build for myself always end with one form of R or TAR. And then someone said, oh, maybe it's because of my love for Arkansas. Oh, AR, okay. Maybe that's what it is too. Yeah, but we can ask Claude about this, but it's also taking time. And again, you have to. We will deploy this subdomain. We're going to create subdomain and do all the rest. But we have the folder already. And what I will do next is I'm just going to come over here to Visual Studio Code. You can use different things. You can use Cursor. You can use Visual Studio Code. You can use Google Anti-Gravity. You can use any of those IDE. They will all work. They will do the work because what we need is the terminal side. What happened to Visual Studio Code? Now, this guy did not. Okay, it's coming up. So when you open your Visual Studio Code, if you are fresh, just go through the prompts, open a folder, and go back to where it is. Here is Nota. I'm just going to click on open. Nota is right here. It's opened. Back to my charts. How do we get it? Yep, back here I can just download instead of copy. Download as Markdown file. So I have this. And back here, yep. And this guy, I have it in my download folder, so I can easily drag and drop this journaling app. I'm going to drop it here. The app is there. And I'm going to open up a terminal. New terminal. Let me just make this one. And in this terminal, I'm going to write Claude dangerously skip permissions. The reason why I'm using this kind of command is you won't be prompting Claude every time. When you use this, they have auto mode today that just decide when to ask you for permission. I don't need any form of permission at all. You are free to do all of this. So based on your subscription, if you do model, you're going to see different model that is available. There's Sonnet, those are smaller models. There's Opus 4.8. It's big, it's able to do things, but I want to try the power of Fable 5. So because this thing is going to end by 7th, let's use it now that is there. So this is Fable 5. And is on high. And you can do efforts. Effort here, you can see I. The longer, the way you move towards the right, it consumes more code, more usage faster. Everything can burn out so fast. So, but we find out that I can do virtually almost everything, except we are working a big company where they're giving you millions of lines of repositories. That's where you Ultra might be very deep into work. And in that case, the company is bearing the cost of token for you. So let's keep it at high and say, I'm going to just tag the PRD right here. And let me copy what I have in ChartCN. I'm going to copy this command. And back here, and I'm going to paste.
Ola?
And yes.
Please, just before you ask Claude, I just thought about something. We are building a web application, right?
Yes.
Not a mobile application.
Not a mobile.
Do you think, I think maybe we can add like, we can make it progressive, you know. I mean, we have those web application progressive that use, you know, modern browser API, and they act like native apps, so you can still install them. It is like Google Meet, you know, it's a web application, but you can install it, you can use it offline, stuff like that. I think that would be great.
Yeah, that's something we will add that.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, we're going to add that. All right, thanks for calling that out. How was your experience? Interesting. It's already sending survey response. Okay, let's put this up here. So here is a PRD for an journaling app that we're trying to build. The name of this app is going to be Nottar, N-O-T-T-A-R. You know, we can always change this later on. I also copied the ChartCN configuration that we've done here. You know, before we do anything else, I just want you to review this. What is missing? Of course, this is not the final form that we're going to implement this. And since you are the one building this, so review what is missing. If you need to ask questions, proceed and ask us questions. Otherwise, the end goal is to build a very detailed implementation plan that we can pursue as a goal so that you can build this end to end without missing any component. So if there's anything missing in between that will not that you need to finalize so that you can truly build this out without any issue, please ask. Also, I want to call this out. We'll love this to be like a progressive web app, meaning users can save it as a app on their phone home screen that they can just click on as a shortcut. I'm not sure if that will affect the current architecture we have. Be able to decide that and let us know if there's anything changing. So what we've described now, this is the next phase. And I threw this in just to also flex on why this is thinking and going through this. Whenever it's done writing the implementation plan as a markdown file, we will ask this guy here to review, which is Codex. So I can open this new Codex chart now. I can change my folder to use an existing folder and select Nota so that everybody connects to Nota. I can just put this guy extra. I have the token. I have, in fact, usage limit. I still have 3 resets. This is crazy. I have a lot. I need to use this quickly. And there's this people are, in fact, I'm going to also put this in fast mode. That's something I like about OpenAI subscription. You have this fast mode. Consume more credit, or it's going to deliver. For Claude, fast will be billed via API. I can't pay for that API. It's too expensive. It's too expensive. I don't have the money. So when that is done, this guy plug into that same folder. And of course, I can also see the folder right here. Files, I can browse through the file. I see what is going on right here. All right. So why that is happening, just to tell you more about Otter AI, this is Otter AI. I know it's going to take some time to review that. This is Otter AI. All right. So one of the advantages of this Otter AI is, I'm not sure if this is even updated. Let me check. There's an update push. Check for update. Okay, it's going to install. Yeah, this guy plug in and relaunch. Okay, it's good. Oh, let's focus on what we're building. Which auth provider should Nota use? Come on, let's use Convex auth recommended. You're just trying to keep this native. Okay, instead of using Clark. All right. Let's use Convex. Better. Convex. Which AI provider for generative AI transcription? Very good. When it comes to this point, I know what I'm going to do. He's introducing Voyage here. Interesting. I'm going to talk about this later, but Voyage is an embedding model. That's what Voyage does. It's cheap, it's good, it's efficient. This can introduce you to efficient model. Why did it go away from there now? But I will, I'm going to go back. I will define what I want. So we're going to use Grok. Grok will give us generous usage limit, both for audio transcription, both for text analysis, and we are going to use Grok and Voyage. Voyage is not free, but it is cheap because an embedding model. Another thing we can do is you can actually use OpenRouter. There's embedding model choice in OpenRouter. In fact, let's use OpenRouter, this kind, and OpenRouter to select embedding model so that we can have choices. How much offline support should the PVA have? Graceful offline. Yep. Richer editor, TipTap, Notion-like, and editing headings. Yep. Recommended. Submit answer. It begins to work on this. Are there any question right now? You see the workflow is not AI just get it done, but again, over time, as you are doing this, both your chat experience know you more and better. This same agent's experience, you become better with the workflow, and over time, you become better. So any question right now, probably on, how do we know some things? How do we do this? Let's use this time to educate and answer those questions. Okay. I'll be good. I think I have to sit. Why is everyone silent? Any question?
No, sir. Just no question. No question, no comment yet.
All right. I'm looking for probably a question to ask right now to keep us engaged. Yeah, let's talk about the cost of learning. Last time we talked about AI learning and the rest. If it's easier to learn a skill, learn and build a skill in the age of AI than before. We said both have the advantage and disadvantages, but let's talk about the cost. One of the costs is financial. I've burned thousands of dollars on this journey. In fact, far back 2024, when I began, pouring money into this, Replit, those days I was using even low-code platform like Replit. There was a night I burned 100 and how much is this? Small money, right? But $120 just trying to build a budget app. $120 trying to build a budget app. Imagine. So today, OpenAI subscription is $100 Pro that give you so much generous distance for even a month. And my OpenRouter subscription, just because I'm trying to use API, many times I've bought money. I've subscribed to many things after that. After that time, my conclusion, is that it's going to be difficult to grow your skill if you are not willing to invest as well in some services, some paid version of services. The cost compound over time, because as you're having monthly subscription, on the average, I'm close to $400 in how much I spend on AI subscription per month. Am I getting back in, the kind of reward based on this? I will say yes right now. The return on that amount of money every month, I'm getting that back in different ways. First, our big product that is making money today and continue to make money, which has been launched. Second, I build product for myself I will have to pay money for, and I use many of that today personally every time. I have options to try many things and learn faster than before. So there's no limit to spending, but whatsoever it is, you still have to spend and see that as one of the ways to invest in that skill today. I just stop there. Let's go through what this guy has for us. And take comment around this. I know that general comment. What will you need before we build? Account and API keys for Convex, Basel, Resend, plus a verified sending domain for Magic Links, Grok, and OpenRouter. Whenever you're ready, say the word and I'll kick off a 0. You have to write something. Oh, it has written implementation plan. Good. So implementation plan is there. I saw something here that I need to actually query, which is the authentication method. The authentication method is saying Magic Links. Now, should we go for this way? I want to go for probably Clark authentication. Because this one is just either password and Magic Link. If you are trying to sign in and send the link to your email, I have to click on that link again to come back. That's not efficient. But Clark provides you this out-of-the-box authentication where you can click on Google SSO, for example, use your Gmail and signs you in. We can change that. I think this is the best time to go with that authentication option. All right, I love this. I'm going to pass some feedback to you regarding the review based on the implementation plan we have created. But for now, can we change the authentication to Clark? Because Convex, I don't want this Magic Link sending. Let it be Clark so that we can use the SSO and the rest. And it's out of the box and it's easier. So let's go with that. While it's doing that, I will let it update the implementation plan. Then already, let's create the prompt for Codex so that Codex review the plan. So this guy does not even have refresh. Interesting. But it's there already. Wait to say implementation. Yeah, implementation plan. This is an implementation plan for our application, Nota, I want you to go through it and critically review it. Do you think that we have everything called out that is needed to now build this application without missing anything out, including testing and the rest? Please, let's be sure that we don't miss out anything. Give it a thorough review, bring out your feedback, your critical feedback, list them out, and whatever is missing so that we don't lose oversight on any part of it. As simple as that kind of request, we're going to put the prompt here. While that is there, I'm just going to be sure this guy has updated the, okay, done. Okay, it has updated it. So we'll come back here and run this. Because this is in fast, it's going to also, it's going to be heavy, but it's going to get it done quickly. All right, any feedback? Let me be sure that, is everyone still on the call? Or has the call ended?
Okay, I hear you.
Oh, peace. Peace now. Okay. Yeah. Any thoughts? Any question? Any anything going through your mind right now regarding this? It might not be related to this project. No, this is the time to discuss this. Right. Okay. They're still running. Okay. While this is running, let me open up those services so that we can just get close to them. We're going to run. Yeah, let's have a profile here, YouTube. So, and this has a Gmail, so we can use that plan. Oh, it has no Convex and the rest, so this is good. So we have Convex. This is Convex. We're going to have Clark. There's a Clark account for this. All these things, free account we're going to use. Grok. I can use all that Grok. I'm not sure I've linked my card to this. Grok.com. Yeah, yeah, we have Convex. Going to also GitHub because I'm using GitHub. Sign in with Google. Yeah. So if you follow the YouTube video that I shared, I explained how authentication methods start from creating a Gmail account, use Gmail to create a Google, and once you create a Google from Gmail, then it becomes easier to sign into other platforms. This is still Clark. Yeah, Clark. From Convex, I can sign in, log in with GitHub. I hope that was what I used to create GitHub. GitHub. Yeah, okay, it's here. Invoicer. Yeah, for signing here, also with GitHub. Last time I was using GitHub. Development, yeah, there's a single project there. Grok, start building. Yeah, last time it was Gmail. Yep, we're here. Those are the key, or then open router, this open router. If you have any question around all of this, we can proceed. I can take them. Personal, yeah, open router is here. Individual. Yeah, this is the first key. 5. Don't worry, just continue. Payment method. I'll do this later. But the first year, stop this. We all set. Go to dashboard. Yep. Okay. Let's see keys on the keys here. API keys. There's a generic one that comes. Yeah. What else? Let's go back. If this guy is done. All right, it's done. It has. Did they update the implementation plan? Yeah. Oh, I think it has made update to it. Findings, verdict. The plan is what is already good. I will add 6 sessions before implementation starts. This okay. I'll just copy all the feedback and come over here and just press. Before you start implementation, can you go through this review about the plan? Because there's still some things missing that you need to kind of look into so that you can make update to this implementation plan before we kick things off. So while that is going on, every other thing in my terminal, I need to check, because most likely I would have signing with another convex, but I'm just going to do npx convex logouts. Just trying to log out of convex. Interesting. Convex is not even installed here yet, so I'm going to click yes. Yep. Log out of convex. So when I run convex login, it's going to create a project for me. That'll be fine. We'll bypass all of this. IFOts, okay. In fact, we won't be able to build out this application. We will give it to the agent. It's going to build, and because of time, but we have defined it up to this point, and then we'll be able to build. But any question right now? Anything else? Yeah, the planning visual, but not gathering, and a few of its claim Clark middleware were generally wrong or unwavy. I will rework the plan now. Add the 6 missing sessions, move draft loss protection from phase 8 into phase 2, adding the schema and fix Clark and file purposes. Specifics. Well, this is good. By the way, Claude is better with UI design than Codex. Once you have designed the first application, the first phase, and with the design system, Codex can do a lot of crazy work and magic with the rest. But if you are building from the first time, I just saw from this guy last night. What's his name now? Peter Stebenga, this guy, creator of OpenClaw, that mentioned, okay, one of the tricks to get Codex to give you the best design is probably ask you to generate an image of the design and then ask you to implement. OpenAI is the best with image generation today. So it's able to give you really good design of the dashboard or the feature in image, then that becomes the reference. Remember, reference that describe, that becomes the reference the model will use, because now it can see a reference. But if you are just describing, they can still miss out on those things. So pointing them to examples, pointing them to a reference is way better than just describing. All right, any question? Let's see where this guy is. This review. Now, why this is happening, why this is going on, there are 2 ways to get this done. First, the best way for me is to run this as a loop. And a loop work on those things until it is done. Because this was proposing, these guys are always lazy around it. If I use Codex will do everything. But Fabu can be very lazy. Even OpenAI, Claude can be very lazy with work. When you give it a work that should have been done end to end, is a conservative approach. If you do phase 1, because they stop and say, I want you to do this, or God, do everything. You have all the things you need to do. So whatever is missing. So one of the ways to get it to run in that loop is to use goal or use loop. And those commands kind of always help. So if you said find scale, loop again, for example, loop, interval, and prompt. I can say write a loop while that is running. Yeah, I think this is good right now. For those keys that we need, you can always put those create an environment variable alongside. I will update them with the keys. But I need you to create a loop experience, loop prompt, so that you can follow it and be able to get this done end to end. I don't need you to do phase 1 and be coming back for phase 2. Since we have written out a good implementation plan that have this task layout, then go ahead and write a loop that will execute them, not us every time coming back to check phase 1, check phase 2, proceed. You can do everything now that we have all the things we need. Don't worry with the environment variables and keys. I will update them right there once you create those variable, those files. All right, so go ahead. With this now, one of the things I'll do is, it's going to kick off the loop. So we're going to stop here because it's just going to be a long time. We've been on this call. We start late. We've been on. I could stop and come next when we meet next, and we build it from here. But the good thing is the time. This actual building time will take time. So if we are meeting next week and we are running this, it's still going to take longer time. So let's assume it's going to run. I'm not going to do anything else that probably would be significant that can change the direction of this product. Nothing. So if this run the loop and it build everything at once, amazing. So what that means is I'll just send another email, maybe on Monday, that okay, this is what we have been able to build. Next time we will deploy it, so that, because I don't want to, I can deploy it to Vercel so that you can test it, but deploy to a domain, connect the email to work. Those are few knowledge here that I want everyone to have. How do we configure the domain? How to make email automated to work, and the rest? We're going to do that next week, but I will deploy the natural application once this is done building. At this point, is there any question before we stop recording and we call it a day?
None from me.
All right. Lieutenant. Yeah, I catch you.
Yeah.
What do you mean by yeah? What's yeah?
No, like, oh, yeah, it was a great session, honestly. Like, I'm going to take some time, go through the setup stuff, and that's literally what we're just speaking about, and then maybe that's what we're just talking about, and then building something. That's what we just talked about. This is a recorded session. Oh yeah.
All right. So okay, thank you for the feedback. Ola, any thoughts from you as well?
Yeah, it's been a good day. Everything looks good. So
Everywhere, Marama, everywhere.
Personally, I also kind of I like the way we're able to go through the process, especially since this was my first session. It was great to see how, went through that whole process of brainstorming to the whole design to, so from the brainstorming, we got that markdown file, and basically we're getting the implementation plan and the project review. What's it called? But I forget.
Yeah, Claude Write implementation plan, codex review.
Codex review, this is exactly and like that. The process, and then give that to Claude and stuff. So it can kind of just give me some of these applications that you're sharing with us, right, around maybe design, for example, Shad UI,
CN.
And then coding and stuff. I think it's just good to kind of, from my perspective, look into them and play around with it. So
Solid session.
Thanks. Yeah, thank you. So that's the goal for this quarter. We will continue to reiterate it because there are more ways to optimize the loop. In fact, we could have come here and start doing magic, just be talking to something, and Codex is doing all those things. But that's not the way to learn, and this is the basic. So we are reinforcing this so that everybody have this as the normal literacy. That should be the normal AI fluency in this age. You want to build your app, know this workflow, the basic workflow is what we are going through. And we're going to do that through this quarter. Every time we meet, we always go through this approach. So, and you see some kind of project will differ from what we pick in the workflow. You introduce some other things to the workflow because of the nature of the project. So it compounds our knowledge and it becomes easier to answer the question, how do you know you have to do this? Because if you have been doing that, you realize, okay, some things changes, your intuition sometimes make you ask some questions. You will push some projects even far by just having, let's do this, let's make this place, let's do that. Some will go well, some will not go well. Over time, the balance starts coming up, Just to say this as we wrap things up, I have built many of my applications more than, for example, budget app. I've built budget app for over 14 times. I have a final version that I have now, which is the best that I want now. It's the one that achieved the vision that I had for about 2024. And almost every time I have built that repeated one, but the one I have now, I can tell you, there's really nothing that I need for more budget application. It helped me manage my budget. I find it difficult. Where my money goes, so I need to account for every naira, every dollar, and that has been very functional for me.
What about Photo-Me?
That's the budget app.
Is it the same as budget app? Photo-Me?
Yeah, Photo-Me, yes.
Oh, that's the budget app.
Yeah, that's the budget app. That's expense tracking for me. It really, I have a version that works on iOS 27 alone now. And because I've upgraded to iOS 27, it's pretty much, I'm blown away with where it is right now. And I have so many other features, things that I've built for myself and the rest. But the journey towards here was building. I started building them as a web app. One day I said, this will be better as a mobile app. The very first day in 2025, when I pushed it to become a mobile app, I was so happy. I was using React Native, S4, and now I'm building platform native now, iOS native, because of the advantage I have there. So it's gradual. You will never get, and that's the lesson, we will not get to that level of proficiency until we start building it this way, because the new skill category, it is the more you build, the more you grow along that, the more you optimize, the better you become. If you want to design anything, if you want to build anything changing, great, you must build the one that is worse, because that's how you start growing. So I just want to use this to encourage that, yes, maybe next year. In fact, when we come back next year, we are not doing too much of this native. We are coming here to show the workflow and the product that was built, so that we can discuss and get more idea. Because that way now we believe we are all, this is no longer new. We know how to do all this now. So what again can help us crack the feed, can help us improve our workflow, can bring efficiency and do all those things. That becomes the more value. But we will go through all this steps while we are still, evolving as a community. All right. On that note, we're going to stop recording and bring this to an end. Please, you're going to get feedback email already. So I will encourage, please, you fill it out. Just if anything is not right, just pass it in feedback. If you can do anything better, pass it in feedback. It's help everyone, including you, including the next person that has not even joined and one day might join the team, because might join the community. Your feedback will help us introduce something or optimize or something. Yeah, we just want to see if what we're doing is working. Yeah, let us know it's working. We appreciate that. So thank you.
How do we get previous sessions?
Previous sessions. So there's a YouTube link that we already have. We post them on YouTube. So what I will do is, when I'm sending the recording for this one, I'll send an email today. I will include the link to YouTube there, because that's where you can always handle sessions.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
Ola, I do have a question.
Yes, please, brother.
We do have resources during every session. What is the repository where we can find those resources?
Thank you. Very valuable question. In fact, just before that, this guy has started running that in a loop and has been creating all the components, and everything is running, including display dialog. So, in fact, it's done way into this. I'll be surprised at what we'll end up with. All right, back to Bola's question. We have a GitHub account where you can GitHub repository where you can see even the slides. We're going to upload the slides. So let me go to GitHub and show you. We also send it in the link. I think going forward, we will be sending it every time. Later on, let me just go to my directory.
Yes, something here, but I don't know if I have the link though. I have the link. I just want to.
Yeah, we'll send it via communication, but this is the place. This is a community where you can see the documents, anything we published, those things, you can see them. Setup guide, for example.
I just sent the link in the chat.
Yeah, the setup guide is here. The video that will help you through all the things in the setup, some of the installation, they
Yeah.
are here. Yeah.
Yeah, please share this one as well.
Yeah.
Like we don't have website for our own community.
Yeah, what we have today is a community too, because website is just placement. Mitumo as a community feature, and that is what we are using. So if you come over here to community, it help manage all this email messaging and the rest. This is the little all the messagings we need, the sessions, the chapters is right there.
Sharp.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Back here again. I've not stopped recording. You can stop recording.